You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Sheena Monnin, and here with me on the show this week is Kathy Sheiko, the chairperson of our local Blessings in a Backpack organization. Kathy, thank you for stopping by. You've done so many amazing things in your life, and I would like for us to focus on one particular organization or cause that you're very passionate about that most people watching maybe have never heard of. Can you tell us about Blessings in a Backpack?
I sure can. Blessings in a Backpack was started in West Bloomfield in 2012 by myself and three other parents from the Green Sheiko school. I found out about it from another Blessings in a Backpack coordinator in the Avondale schools. Avondale was the first school district in the state to have Blessings in a Backpack. And it came about in the year 2004 from a teacher in Louisville, Kentucky. She saw kids coming to school on Mondays. They were out of sorts, they were grumpy, and she began to tie them in with the same boys and girls who were on free and reduced lunch. So she worked with a gentleman named Stan Curtis, and they partnered with Meyer, and the first Blessings in a Backpack chapter was started. Since then, it has gone school by school, district by district across the country. It's now in 45 states. It services about 20,000 students, but again, done all by volunteers. In West Bloomfield, we have approximately 1,800 boys and girls that qualify for free and reduced lunch of K-12. Of those, about 280, at least last year, signed up for Blessings in a Backpack. It's a program where on Wednesdays we pack meals to go home on Fridays, 6 non-perishable meals. The boys and girls take them home on Fridays, and they have something to eat on the weekends. These are boys and girls that on Mondays through Fridays come to school, they have free lunch, they have free breakfast. They go home on the weekends, and oftentimes there's no food.
Wow, it's so hard sometimes to realize that's happening around us because it's something that isn't very often talked about. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about some of the personal experiences that you've had with this, some of the stories that you've heard to kind of drive home how important and imperative this really is.
Well, first, I think we need to talk about the fact that 21% of the kids in the United States live under the poverty level. Mm-hmm. You compare that to the United Kingdom and France, and their percentage is 10%. Very telling right then about what's happening to our boys and girls. 1 out of 6 are hungry. In Michigan, 33% of the boys and girls are on free and reduced lunch. 30% of Oakland County, 13% in the West Bloomfield schools. So it's important for us to remember that in this country, no child should go hungry. And some of the stories are heart-wrenching. There was a story that a woman told me who was a volunteer for Blessings, not in our district, but in another one. And a little girl was talking about her tuna sandwich. Her dad gave her the best tuna sandwiches. And she says, but I don't get them anymore. And she said, well, where did he get them from? She said, he got them in the dumpster behind the hospital. And she said, well, why don't you get them anymore? And she said, because now I have Blessings in a Backpack and I take food home on the weekends. A little girl, knowing that her father is dumpster diving to get her a tuna sandwich. A little boy who said to his teacher, when I get my juice box, I know somebody cares about me. And a story that occurred right here in West Bloomfield was a little 2nd grade girl, and she was in class, and they were doing this lesson. I used to think, and now I know. And so the teacher was verbally taking the boys and girls through that exercise. And a little boy said, I used to think that spiders were insects, and now I know that they're arachnids. And another little girl said, well, I used to not understand why I needed a comma or a period at the end of a sentence, and now I understand why I need to have that before I start my next sentence. And a little girl turned to her teacher and said, I used to think I'd go home on the weekend and be hungry, but now I know there'll be a bag of food in my locker on Fridays. At which point the teacher had to stop the lesson because she was in tears.
That's beautiful, absolutely.
It's very telling. And we really have no understanding, even though we think we do, of what it is to worry about where your next meal is coming from when you're 7 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're doing is so important to shape that feeling of safety as well for those kids. Now, this is an amazing organization. Do you have plans for expansion in West Bloomfield in the future?
We are hoping to get to our middle schools in the near future. That's our goal. Our volunteers are working very hard to make that happen. We try to have fundraisers. We apply for grants to get the money that we need. And I think I mentioned it's $100 a child to purchase the food that we need for 40 weekends. So that we do plan to expand in the future.
That's really exciting. And for those watching who are feeling like me, like I want to do something to help, what other ways can people help? Obviously, donations are first and foremost of the importance on your list, but what else can we do to reach out and help?
We're always looking for volunteers to help with our fundraisers, volunteers to give us ideas for fundraisers, but we also pack every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock at Abbott Middle School. We have a cadre of probably 25 volunteers, but they come and go. They leave in the wintertime. Somebody might have a vacation coming up. So we're always happy to entertain and have people come at any time. Sometimes they might not have as much to do as other times, but sometimes we'll be very, very busy. So that would be a great way for people to help get this program to continue.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it. And once again, everyone, Kathy Sheiko from Blessings in a Backpack.
Thanks for watching a segment of The Splash. To catch the entire show or other segments, watch us on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us on WBLD 89.3, the all-new Lakes FM.